Dow Industrials. Ray Wong with us this morning. You're at the Apple event, I believe. Kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern, I think. Have you seen the iPhone 15?
I have not seen the iPhone 15 yet, but I am live here in Cupertino, California.
Okay, what's the big special? Do you know if there is one big new special feature on the 15?
There are two that are interesting. One is going to be what happens with the telephoto lens, and that's what people are looking for in the highest model of the iPhone 15, along with the A17 chip. And then, of course, the European regulation compliance for the USB-C standard that's going to be put into every single iPhone that has to be sold in Europe and probably around the world.
Well, for many years, I have worked with Apple products. Whether it's computers, whether it's iPhone, iPad, you know, I've always had it. Except in the last year or so. I still have my original, one of my earlier iPads. I still have it, and I know it's time to change out. Will I get another Apple iPad? No. Because I've already switched out of it. Why? Well, several reasons. And today we're going to talk about the iPhone 15. And, you know, normally when you see a new iPhone come out, everybody's like, yeah, I got to go get it. Well, there'll probably be lines. But we're going to go a little bit into this and tell you that not too many people are really excited for the iPhone 15.
Our aim is to permanently remove carbon from the atmosphere.
Well, as I said before, my wife, we've been Apple users. My wife has one of the newer iPads. I have one of the older. We both just switched out recently to Android. We switched to Samsung recently because we found the newer ones that were out are much better, you know, as far as what they offer. It has good weight to it, and you know, the screen works out very nice. The camera works very nice, and you know, it's like my brother said, why aren't you on an Android now? You know, iPhones are not too special like they used to be, and you know, he was absolutely right. Because you know, when you had to deal with iPhones, you had to buy their own equipment. When it comes to the Android stuff, you know, you could go out and get any type of brand, you know, many companies that have, you know, parts, cables and stuff like that. You were limited to what, even though there was a lot of stuff out there, but you were limited because some of that wiring didn't work well with a lot of the iPhones, and, you know, they started to eliminate certain things. And now they have to change the power adapter. So basically, everybody uses the same wire, whether it's Android or whether it's an iPhone. But we're going to read into this from the New York Post. Apple users bash new iPhone 15. Innovation died with Steve Jobs. Guess their favorite tech brand isn't the apple of their eye or eye anymore. Smartphone fans have been griping about the new Apple devices since arguably the anticlimactic announcement of the forthcoming iPhone 15. On X, formerly Twitter, users have gone so far to claim innovation died with Steve Jobs, the co-founder and former Apple CEO, who died in 2011 from cancer at the age of 56. The new iPhones, slated to drop on September 22nd, feature never-before-seen colors, infused glass, an industry first, and new charging ports. These were charging ports they had to change. While the display size is comparable to the 14, the 15 Titan design makes it their lightest weight Pro models yet, Apple CEO Tim Cook wrote on X. But the improved dual camera system, overall enhanced performance, and expanded safety features aren't enough to amateur online critics who claim the iPhone 15 models lack enough innovation to differentiate them from the previous generation. Apple's innovation died with Steve Jobs, one disgruntled critic wrote on X. Most everything since 2011 has been 5.1 improvements on existing products, safe for the watch, which was inevitably anyway. Meet the new Apple iPhone 13, 14, 15, quipped another. Followed by the Apple event, there is no difference between iPhone 14 and 15, argued someone else. I'm a diehard Apple fan and iPhone 15 is so bland, ripped one disparager. I'm skipping and waiting to see iPhone 16. This should have been called the iPhone 14.2. This wasn't enough to earn the 15. The Post has reached out to Apple for comment. Karen Drance, Apple's VP of Worldwide iPhones Product Marketing, insists the updated smartphone models are a huge leap forward in innovation, according to the company's press release. But some Apple zealots are rejoicing over a reported customizable action button where the mute switch where once was. If true, the new feature, according to Mac Rumors, would greatly differentiate the iPhone 15 from past models, allowing user the capacity to access various functions and settings without necessarily unlocking the device or navigating to an app, which I think that's an issue in itself. Although it doesn't seem to be enough for unsatisfied customers on X. But this isn't the first time the tech giant has faced scrutiny for losing its soul after Jobs' death, according to the book After Steve Jobs, How Apple Became a $1 Trillion Company and Lost Its Soul, penned by Trip Mickle of the New York Times. Let me tell you, like I said, I've used Apple for many years now, and yes, it has lost its way. And, you know, the thing is that here's the situation. This is a company that, you know, it started out in a garage. Understand that. This, you know, most people don't realize that Apple started out in the garage. And what it's become, you know, most people have some sort of Apple product in their collection somehow. But what has happened is Apple has become more of a political stance company than an actual company that innovates new technology. And what I mean by that is, if you haven't seen this particular video,
I'm also happy to report that we're investing in projects around the world that protect the Earth's soil, plants, and trees.
Everyone says they're planting trees.
We've planted forests.
Oh, hello.
Where?
Paraguay, Brazil.
What, are you trying to save the tropical savanna?
Yes. And we've also restored mangroves in Colombia,
What else?
grasslands in Kenya.
Why?
Our aim is to permanently remove carbon from the atmosphere.
they're more concerned about removing carbon dioxide from the air to zero, killing about pretty much the human race, than to innovate their product. This is what they care about now. This is the dealings that their problem. And if I was on the board of directors at Apple, I would seriously reconsider removing Tim Cook from the head of the company, because you know you have to maintain, innovate, expand, you know, and this is the problem. And this is the problem in the United States. You know, this is the problem that we've been happening for many years, and Donald Trump has pushed this out. Another thing that Donald Trump has been right about is that, remember, most of the innovation, most of the technology came from the Industrial Revolution of the United States, as far as for the many years of the technology and stuff like that. And they said, well, what about Japan and all that? But most of the ideas came from the US. We allowed it to go overseas. Allowed these companies to basically, some of it's stolen, some of the technology has been, copied and stolen from US companies. You had Donald Trump trying to bring back chip making back to the US. It should be here. Why do we have it overseas? Well, they say, well, it's cheaper. We don't want to pay much more. If we were making it and we were making innovations and changing on that, figure out how to make it better, faster, stronger, and keep the price at a reasonable rate for the consumers. It is possible. There are American companies out there that make product for the general public and not that expensive. For example, sneakers, New Balance. New Balance, a lot of their product is manufactured in the US and their prices are decent. You look at Nike, 100, 120, 200, 300, 400, it's ridiculous. What does it cost to make it? Next to nothing. Most of it on slave labor. And that's the thing. A lot of this is slave labor these days. Chip making, stuff that comes out of China, and in the Asian market. These are the problems that we've been having. Where does most of this material come from to make the batteries and the chip, all that cobalt mining and all that? That's done in Africa and in China, and it's done with child labor. Think about that for a minute. Think about where your battery comes from, where that battery that you put in, that you have in that phone, where it comes from. It's the same place where the freaking electric cars get their batteries from. We have the capability to innovate, but we don't. We don't. For the reason is we've dumbed down our education. Kids in school cannot properly read, write, or do mathematics. We've seen stories where basically, teens that have they're in college now, and professors are hard to grasp that basically these teens can't do math. But yet, the push of the environment, the social structure, and all that, but yet the innovation is what we need to keep our world going. We should be on the forefront of technology. We should be building more nuclear plants. We should be innovating our electric grid. We should be building great highways. We have a company out there called Brightline that's going to redefine the railroad in the United States. Finally. If you haven't heard about Brightline, check it out. We do have videos on it. You have a train, you have a fast speed train running from Miami straight up to Orlando and probably eventually to Tampa, going right near Disney, going through all the airports. And they're making a deal to build one on the West Coast as well. This is going to beat out Amtrak. This is probably going to end up replacing Amtrak down the line. This is innovation. Changes that should have been made years ago. But we allowed our politicians, activists, to kill our businesses. And now Apple is headed in that direction. I agree. Apple is headed in that direction. Unless they're going to make a major change on 16 or 17, because it probably won't be until 17 or 18, most likely. It's still going to be the same old iPhone that has been going on for the last couple of years now. But who am I to say about this but a man with the show?
Thanks for watching. Before you go, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share this video. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe as it helps us increase the reach of our channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help fund this and many other channels. If you wish to help grow this channel by financial support, you have two ways. There are two links below. One link will send you to a direct pay site where you can make a donation. The second link will send you to our gear store where you can purchase t-shirts, mugs, and other specialty items. Any additional discounts will be listed on the main page. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.